Morning guys, so it's day two. We're just trying to get some of the flooring sorted out. We picked up all the materials this morning. We're going to stick with the cable floor, 18mm moisture board, because then we're going to put a detrim out over top of that as well for the tiles. So just so you know where we've got to, we're just trying to get the floors back in. As you can see, we've put a timber plate which has been screwed, and we've used mega stick to go along that bottom edge there. We've then put some timbers thoroughly screwed to the wall there to re-carry the floor. Obviously we've still got to give that a little push back over. That's not a major issue, so we just got to cut our flooring around that then. And then we've got solid fixings all the way through. So we've just cut this bit of flooring out. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut a bit of flooring. We've multi-tooled it there along that joist. We're going to cut it slightly oversized so that we can get a good scribe on that line. And then we can tuck that one in. And then that gets me just about 700. So then I can plumb and do my final connections there. I'll put the tray in. We'll screw that board down thoroughly. And then we'll get the tray in. We'll get the tray down. We'll pack it level. Connect the waste to it, and then I can do all the plumbing and get all this bit of plumbing here finished, get all that finished and in place, because then I know the tray is in the right place. That's all done properly. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we've got a bit of floor done. It's in, it's scribed in, it's more than good enough. So what we're going to do now, we've dropped the tray in, we've cut a hole in the floor, and we've provisionally marked out and set our pipes out. So now it's all glued. We make sure every joint is thoroughly glued, make sure all of our lines line up. I don't care about the pencil marks and the pen marks. So now we should better put our floor down, put our tray back in, and that should all line back up perfectly. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it works. Floors in, we've got a bit of wiggle room on that, so hopefully now I'll get the tray in and just make sure everything sits as it should. And there we go, shower trap connected. So now we can just pour water down that, just check for leaks, pour water down that, check for leaks, and then I'll be happy. And then we can then take the tray out, do the heating pipes, get the floor down, make good the walls. Okay, so water's on, you can hear it going down the pipe, and everything's looking cushy there, everything's looking cushy here. It's a bit in, shine the light down there, everything's looking nice and dry down there, so happy days. So we just got to check that one now. So we'll put water in a bucket and pour it in there, and then we can check those last few connections. Okay, fair amount of water in now. I'll get Ricky to pour it down the drain while we monitor for leaks. So if you want to just pour that down for us, Ricky. Absolutely spot on, not a drip, not a drip. Perfect. Now that's what we want to see from a shower tray. Okay, so the shower tray is all connected, pipes, waste. So all we've got to do now is get the heating pipes done, get the floor back down, make the walls good, get the tray bedded in, and then we're good for tomorrow. Then we can start thinking about priming, tiling, so on and so forth. So let's crack on. See you soon. Okay guys, so those of you that are wondering what trap we're using, I'm just going to do you a quick video on it. This is the trap. It's a dry trap, this one, because it has what's called smart membrane technology, which is basically this little thing here. This little thing here is what stops the smell. So that just stops the smell, and then obviously when the water flows through from this side, it will open up, let the water through, and then just set back down afterwards. So ultra compact, no odour, drip free, absolutely perfect. It's only 40mm deep total. I've been using these traps now for about 5-6 months, fitted about 3 or 4 of them. Never had an issue, never had a complaint from the clients that say they can smell waste, sewage or anything like that. So far so good. And what I love about it, and I know I keep going on about it, I love the fact that it has a solid metal plate and it is screwed down, not just the standard cheap crappy ones that you get. I mean, these are what you normally get, these crappy plastic things, and to be honest with you, I don't rate these. Actually got me facing. Yeah. So what I don't like about these standard traps is obviously you get all your little bits and pieces. I mean, this one came with the shower trays, just clips in. But the biggest problem with these style traps is this wind system. It is so flimsy that when you're trying to tighten these up, they actually jump a thread. If you look inside, you can see there's very limited threads, and it's not a consistent thread, it stops. So what happens is, because that thread is so small, when you're trying to tighten this up, and I've had it happen many a time, you get it to a point where you think it's just about tight enough, and what happens is, it may not do it, it ain't going to do it on this particular one, but on some of these, it will literally jump a thread and won't tighten. That's why I won't use these. Bad example, this might be a Mira one, these are usually pretty good. Yeah, it's a Mira. So these are usually pretty good, the Mira ones, so I tend to keep these for emergency replacements. But when I'm fitting, installing, I go with the new style. Don't forget guys, check out the YouTube channel. We'll see you soon. Okay guys, so we've started draining down the system. So all we've done is we just come off one of the towels in here, run me hose pipe down and then down the 4-inch waste that's in here. So that's draining, and what I've done is I've done a couple of bends, soldered a couple of elbows coming out the wall at the right spacing. That's me drain off hose, obviously it's buggers off in there, and then it's just connected to that tail. We've got all the rads on this floor open, so they're all draining down. And what I've done is, a bit clever, the rad is an 8cm centre on the valves because the pipes go in quite small. So what we've done is we've made a bit of wood, cut some holes at 8cm centres, soldered our elbows on coming out the walls. We've done a couple of swept bends there, obviously lagged it and pipe clipped it. So all I've got to do now is cut that tail onto that one, that tail onto that one under that floorboard, and then basically that's done. Put a couple of caps on. We're going to pressure test this now. Just going to put the pressure tester on, just make sure everything's golden, put a cap on that, pressure test, make sure we've got no leaks up here. And then obviously then it's just these two connections to do. So by rights I should now be able to cut these pipes because I reckon we're pretty much drained now. There will be a little bit of water left in which we will have to put a bucket underneath, but that's what we're going to do now. So at the moment of truth, the water has stopped, so put my bucket underneath. So I'm just going to take my time, cut this pipe off. You get the wet vac ready, Ricky. So we know there's going to be some water left in it because the pipes are above level, so hopefully not too much. Alright, cheers mate. So we're just going to let that finish emptying and then we'll pump that away with the wet vac now. Basically, we're just going to let it fill up and then use the wet vac to suck the water out, and then we'll empty the wet vac and just keep doing that until that's completely empty. Or I could just put my hose on there, to be fair. Would be a lot quicker, wouldn't it? Let's do that. Well, that was a pointless effort because it's basically stopped now, so that was not really needed. So Ricky's just going to, don't pull it out of there, make sure you come in so that it empties the water in. So that's basically almost done now. We've got that end open as well, so what we'd do now is we'd let that drain, put the vacuum on it, suck some extra water out, and then we should be golden. Okay, so we've drained it down, we've sucked the water out, we've fluxed all our pipes and cleaned our ends up, so we're just going to solder them up now. But I always like to wipe the excess solder, the excess flux off, because you get a bit more of a cleaner solder line. So I'm just going to try and position this. Solder. Alright, let's do this one first. And you need a little flame. and give it a little wipe with some flux just to clean the solder lines. Make sure it gets a nice even. And a little epoxy spray bottles, cheap crap. That's that tail. And then clean up the pipes. If you get that flux off. It's still hot, be careful. I'm not the cleanest of soldering, but I don't bother. I'd rather have more flux, more solder on there than needed, and now I've got a clean solder joint. So that's that tail done. I'll just double check, make sure our centres haven't moved up here, and then we will lift that board up and cut that pipe out. And there we go. We've got our caps on, we've got our centres. So all we've got to do now is basically refill and bleed the system. Happy days. And then we can get the floor down, bit of plastering, and hopefully bed the shower tray in. So that's the next step really, is getting these floors down. So we've got to trim some of this off. We've got that little piece there to get out. Just there's a little piece of board that needs to come out, so then we can sail our floor in. And then I'll probably do this one to the centre of that joist, and then we can just put a piece over the toilet because I can work around the waste and stuff. And then that'll probably be a full one with a little notch out. And then obviously the sliver at the end. We've only got 2 boards, I think. 1, 2. So there should only be 2 more boards to put back in there. So I think I bought too much cable. I actually bought 4 lengths. I think I only need 3, but that's what happens when you forget to make your notes the night before, and then you're trying to remember in the suppliers. But it will get used, always does. See you in a minute. Okay, heating system is now all filled back up. We haven't turned the boiler on yet because I just wanted to make sure that we completely filled up. We only drained the top half of the house, so there should be no issues with it being a gravity fed system. We should be able to just fire this up now and then turn the heating on and get the rads heating up, and anything that doesn't heat up will just bleed. We've just been asked to change that radiator for a smaller one, so I wish you'd told me that beforehand, because obviously we'd already cut all this. So what we do is when we drain down again, because I will be draining down again to do the final connections and stuff, I'd never do anything live. It's just not worth it in my opinion. So I will drain down again when we do the final connections for that, and while it's drained down we will lift this carpet, pull the flooring back, expose the pipework and bring it in, rehang the new rad, drop our new pipes in. I might even go push fit, just because this is because it's cable floor. I don't really want to start mucking about too much, but we will see how we get on. I might go push fit under there just to make it neat with just copper tails coming out the floor, but I shall worry about that when the time comes. See you in a bit. Okay, floor finished, done. We've bonded up all the holes in the wall now, so the walls are pretty flat. These walls aren't brilliant, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery with the tiles. I'm going to have to put it thin on the bottom and then build it out in the middle to try and get them reasonably level. The window wall being the worst, but they've spent a lot of money having these walls re-skimmed, so I was hoping the plasterer would have done a bit of a better job, but it is what it is. We will overcome, as they say. Just gonna have to take my time with the tiling, make sure I get that window wall especially plumb, because they're having a bespoke shower screen made, one that can go into the window reveal and return and block off a little bit of the window. That way we don't lose light, we haven't got muck about with the window, as discussed on the previous videos regarding this job. So floor is down, went as tight as we could to the pipes, because obviously we need to try and notch on there as well. So all screwed, piloted and screwed, plenty of screws, there's no movement in this floor. We've primed the shower tray area so that we can glue the tray down. I say all bonded. So I say these walls aren't very good. So as you can see, it don't look that bad there, and the level looks alright, but the minute you go down the bottom there, you see massive lots of daylight. So ideally I'd like him to have levelled it from there up, and it ain't too bad level, so really I've only got to pack it in that middle bit there a little bit. So because obviously we're not actually tiling up to the ceiling all the way around, only within the shower tray area. Then I think it's half height or windowsill height. Putting the tile the windowsill, and then it's half height. I think this wall and this wall, but we will probably go windowsill height, that way it sails over the towel radiator this side. But anyway, next job, try and get this tray down. We're taking that primer go off, which won't take long. That floor will suck it up, and then we will a bed of adhesive. We know that's the highest point. We've got packers there, a packer there, and a packer there. Once we get them in place, I can then put my adhesive in accordingly. So I do a thin scrape there and build it up slightly thicker towards this wall. And then we'll bed it, shake it, level it, screw the trap on so that the trap's in place and everything's in the right place. Make sure it's level, and then that'll be it. We'll leave it, we'll just clean off the excess, leave it till tomorrow. And then we will then silicone the trap, put the trap in properly and start tiling. So that's the general plan. Hopefully by the end of tomorrow we will have the back shower wall done, maybe some of the window wall done. All depends on what pattern they're going to have. They've got rectangle tiles, 600 by 250 or 300, I'm not sure. So they may go brick pattern, they may go just straight lines, but we will see. So don't forget guys, check in with us a bit later on, and we'll get this bit done and then we're off. See you soon. Okay, so basically we're done for today. Shower trays in, pipework's finished, bonding's done. So tomorrow we can start tiling. Trays in, nice and level. The waste is connected just for now. We will put a silicone bead on the underside of that when we're ready. So everything's bonded. We're going to put a little step. We're going to tile it all first, and then I'm going to build a small step there, which I will then tile, because obviously the tray is not long enough. They decided to go with that one. They can't get a fork. They could have got one that gets cut, but that was cheaper than the cut one, I think. Not that it matters either way, but yeah, that's where we're at guys. Flooring done, pipe work's all out the ground, floors in. So tomorrow basically start cracking on tiling the walls. So like I said, it's full tile around the shower tray and then half tile. I'm not sure whether we're going to windowsill height or not. We need to figure that out, but that's not a problem. But anyway, that's it. So that's day 2 of this little shower room done. We're not the quickest, but we do take pride in testing everything, make sure everything's done properly, make sure there's no leaks, everything's been water tested, everything's pressurised. There are companies out there that go, oh, we do all this in like 3 or 4 days. Well, this is going to take me over a week. I'm probably going to be here at least all this week, and it may run into a little bit next week. Basically, it all depends how the tiling goes, because we've still got the floor to tile, the walls to tile. I reckon I've got this week tiling at least, and maybe second fix Monday, Tuesday. But we'll see how we get on. Don't forget, guys, like, share, follow. Check out the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe and notification icon. I'd really appreciate it. We are starting to really smash that now, guys. We're nearly at 3,000 subscribers. It's moving lovely. I am so happy with that site. If there's anything you can think of that I can do to improve what we're doing on YouTube, just leave me a comment with suggestions on what we can do, videos we can make, so on and so forth. Just stuff that you want to know about, stuff that might entertain you, hints, tips, whatever. Just hit me up. Speak to you soon, guys. Bye.